Hi guys, hope you're well. Today the question is, are lifestyle influencers dead? Are brands looking for more specialized creators? Are consumers looking for more specialized creators? Does the world need more lifestyle creators? So I wanted to explore and understand a bit more around the evolution of lifestyle influencers and evolution of influence marketing in general, especially with creators becoming more and more specialized to cater to particular niches or particular communities. Throughout time, influencers anywhere on any kind of platform is always about building a community of people who are really love their content, who kind of can become friends sometimes, or who just kind of have the same passion for the same kind of creator or the same content basically. So a big part of that is now moving towards more specialized communities where it's a particular influencer who talks about, for example, being gluten free. So an influencer who has gluten-free recipes, an influencer who talks about gluten-free alternatives within the supermarket, or who talks about recipes and things like that. So everything to do with living a gluten-free lifestyle. You may think that's extremely niche just to talk about that. But are we moving towards more of that now? Where there is more of a specialization, so it might not be as niche as that. But it might be, for example, that we are looking at influencers instead of lifestyle influencers, but mother influencers. Influencers or creators who are mothers and who are really well known for that. They might talk about recommendations for food, recommendations for kids' clothes, recommendations for kind of growing up or videos that really helped, or how to balance things out, how to deal with different things, deal with different stages of life. If you then delve further in, you could then niche it down even further. So you could have mother influencers who are mothers to maybe 0 to 3 year olds, and then mother influencers who are mothers to kind of 2 to 5 year olds, and so on and so forth. Different stages of motherhood can mean different things, and different communities that are built around those particular things. But I feel that you can even go even further. So you could have Muslim mothers who are dealing with everything that comes with being a teenage mother. You could deal with Jewish mothers who are dealing with kind of teenagerdom and growing up, etc. Or it could be Christian mothers who are dealing with the kind of terrible two phase, or it could go even further, to do with cultures. There might be Indian mothers. You can even niche down by different communities and different cultures. But that's the thing. So how far do we go in terms of niches? Because we can specialize down the most generalized groups, but we could also specialize so far down that we could be left with so many different niche groups that it can be too niche to the point where are you going to go with things? So this is the thing. Are we still going into a general kind of categories, or are we really niching down and looking for people who are, for example, if people who talk about savory foods, or people who talk about coffee, or people who talk about just tea, or people who talk about herbal tea, for example. So there's so many different things that you can potentially branch out into, but is that really going to be the end of a lifestyle influencer? Because do you need to have a niche to really exist and to do really well on YouTube, or on Instagram, or on Facebook, or on Twitter? Where brands are becoming more and more tuned to influence marketing and the use of it and how it can potentially grow their brand in insane ways. I feel like specialization will become more and more important, and that will really need to line up with brand interest. So it might be, for example, that only brands who are looking at working with mothers, they won't work with anyone else, which would be great because it's a great way to specialize down, and it means that those influencers will then get the opportunities that they really need. Whereas if they're just kind of general influencers and people kind of follow them for general things, I think brands will be kind of a bit more cautious towards working with them because they just don't have one set USP in a way. Influencers really need to think about how they can kind of specialize and show that if they do want to work with brands, show what they're interested in, show what their main USPs are. So it might be that they're a mother. It might be that they are a foodie. It might be that they are a gardener. It might be that they are home renovating, so that they can kind of line up with the different brands. And brands will be also a lot more likely to work with them just because they kind of understand and they feel comfortable that this person can talk authoritatively and genuinely about their brand in a really, really good way. For influencers, try and find your niche and try and find, even if it's a couple of niches that's still kind of like maybe maximum 2 or 3, but just try and find where you sit in this whole sphere of social media and try and step away from the whole lifestyle influencer. And so it might be that you're a gaming influencer, so stick with gaming. It might be that you're a mother influencer, stick with mother influencing. It might be that you're a fashion influencer, stick with fashion influencing. It might be that you're a beauty influencer, stick with beauty influencing, and so on and so forth. So just basically finding your niche and really kind of sticking to that, and then it will hopefully help you a lot more when it comes to branding. And when it comes to brands, really try and look for those people who actually speak to that particular audience in a really, really good way. There's a higher likelihood that they will convert in a big and much more effective way, and it'll be a great way to really kind of use your marketing spend and really speak to consumers in an authentic and correct way as well.